These are my top 5 picks for edge rushers that you should be checking out this season. So I'm not going to mention guys like TJ Parker out of Clemson. Everybody knows Clemson's team this year is going to be stacked. I'm also not going to mention guys like Colin Simmons out of Texas just because I don't want to be too biased, but he is another guy you should be watching for. Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State is another one of those guys. Mikhail Kamara out of Indiana. LT Overton out of Alabama. Derek Moore from Michigan. There's a lot of edge rushers that I could have added to the list, but these are my top 5. So I'm going to start with the guy who I think is most underrated, Trey White out of San Diego State. You know, he has 60 tackles last season, 18.5 tackles for loss, 12.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Nobody's talking about this guy, but honestly, if you ask me, he's one of the best edge rushers in college football right now. He's averaging 1 sack per game. He flew under the radar mainly because San Diego State was 3-9 last season. Now, next on my list, I'm gonna go to the obvious. Dylan Stewart, edge rusher out of South Carolina.
Dart pitching in trouble.
I just want to say this South Carolina team is one of the teams I'm most excited for this season in general. Dylan Stewart was a freshman last year, and moving forward, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that offenses have to plan their offensive scheme around. Teams are going to come into a game against South Carolina thinking, how can we protect our quarterback from a guy like Dylan Stewart? If you're not already excited about the South Carolina team, Dylan Stewart should be one of those guys that gets you excited to watch South Carolina this season. So the next guy on my list is another SEC guy. We got Tyreek Sapp out of UF. Now, we knew that he was already a great pass rusher, but last season we really got to see what he was able to do as far as stopping the run game. He could be a potential first-round draft pick in the 2026 draft. I'm curious to see how he ups his game even more. More than likely, he's going to end up a first rounder in the 2026 draft. So my next guy is another guy who flew under the radar. I got Jack Kelly out of BYU. When you look at his stats, he's one of those guys who's consistent and always trying to get better. Last year, he did have some talks about going into the draft. So I'm expecting Jack Kelly to really up his draft stock this season and produce more impact on the field. And last but not least, Jaden Version Morgan out of Boise State. Now, last year as a sophomore, he led the team with 10 sacks, 40 total tackles, 15.5 for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. He was also voted first team All Mountain West Conference. This guy's 6'3", 253. He's very lean build. He's put on even more muscle mass just being in the weight room this offseason. Last year, it was all about Ashley GT in Boise State, but this year I feel like Jaden Version Morgan is going to be one of those guys that people really start to look into. But all right, this guy's nasty. So I'm expecting a lot out of him this year. Comment down below who you think should have made the list.